Guys, Griff here. Got Jeff behind the camera. What's going on, Jeff?
What's going on, brother? We have a special one today for them.
Yeah. This is a good one.
This is a good one.
So, we want to take a couple minutes to talk to you guys about a technique that I've been really getting into a lot lately. Not a new technique. It's been around forever, right? But the bait is new.
The bait is new.
The bait's not even new. It's
Yeah,
been
actually.
around forever. But we really haven't paid too much attention to it.
Yeah.
And why is that? It's kind of weird, right?
It's kind of a weird one.
Yeah, so the bait that we're talking about is the Duo Realis T Hog.
The T Hog.
Right? So we've had this bait in the shop for years.
For a while, yeah.
It's been around. I don't know why. I walked past it a lot. I used it this summer a little bit, but I never really paid too much attention to it. But I found a bite that instantly when I found this bite, I was like, I bet you this T Hog would just crush it in there. What is the T Hog? Well, let me show you. The T Hog is a turtle. I'm assuming it's a turtle. It has like a shell. Has these flappers here.
That turtles have?
Yeah.
Turtles have flappers.
Yeah.
Yep.
The Arizona desert turtle.
Now, when we first got this bait in, I said it's a water bug.
It looks like a water bug.
Looks just like a water bug, but T Hog, for some reason, the
Turtle
T means
hog.
turtle hog. But I think it looks just like a normal ass water bug beetle thing.
It does look like a water bug. But it says T Hog.
But it says T Hog, so we got
I'm gonna call it a turtle.
A turtle.
Yeah. It just sounds cooler, and it makes more sense.
Catching them on a turtle does sound cooler.
Yeah, like, oh, I threw a
Do
bug
them on the
bait.
turtle bite.
Yeah.
I'm on the turtle bite.
I'm on the soft shell turtle bite. Oh man. All right. So what is it?
Yeah,
though?
what is it?
Is it a flipping bait?
Yeah.
What is it? No. So it's a back glide bait.
Backlight. Okay.
Yeah. So it has this. All the weights like center to the rear of the bait, which you would think is the rear of the bait because the face is up here, right? So for those of you who haven't used a back glide bait, you kind of take a bait that looks like a craw with some flappers or something like that, but you rig it backwards. You flip it into something that has to overhang trees or anything like that. As you give the line slack, the bait will go backwards, right? Because your line's coming this way, the bait will go backwards. Some of them work great, right? It's a technique that's been around forever. I think Yamamoto, the Fat Ica, was like a popular one for the longest time. But you throw it in there, and that bait will just find its way into like little cracks and crevices, through grass, through brush. It just makes its way in there. Some of them don't do as well, right? So over the years, we've been finding new ones that are doing well. Some aren't. There's a lot of great ones on the market, but this one was so unique that I wanted to try it out. I got a couple bites on a different one. I was like, let me try this T Hog and see how it does. And then we went in there, Jeff, and I put the hurt on those fish.
You heard them bad.
Yeah, they were going crazy.
You heard them bad.
3 different baits tried. The T Hog was the one that worked for me. And I think because it's so unique in the action that they have no choice but to bite it. So a lot of them are going to be straight and long and then have like a little, like, I don't know, hairs on them or something like that. Little quiver or something like that. But this one right here, I mean, it looks like an animal.
Yeah.
It looks like something that can live in the water. And what's happening is, as I throw it out there and it's coming back, these little legs are vibrating very softly. And the claws are also barely moving. But this bait slides back very horizontally. It's not doing this. Like coming at this angle, it's going at this angle. So I was fishing in pretty deep water, like 15 to 25 foot of water, casting it out there and just letting it go. And then as I'm letting it go, it's peeling line out and not down. So I knew it was making its way. I can feel it hitting brush. I was fishing a pretty thick brush also. So it's hitting the brush, it's getting through all that stuff, and it's gliding and gliding. It was taking forever to get down there. And then I would just let it sit in there, pull it back, and when you pull it back is when these claws activate. They fold backwards, and they start. Remember, you're pulling it this way now, and they fold back, and they're just vibrating like crazy. And then you let it go, and it's going right back down into its spot. Pick it up, boom, boom, boom. So the fish, I don't think they have a choice but to eat it. It looks like something's alive. It's in their space. It's gotten into these crazy places where normal stuff just doesn't go. So the fish have to eat it. All right, there's that. I mean, I'm doing it weightless. I don't need to add a nail weight in there. You can if you want it to go faster, but it's not necessary for me. It's just going down there. One thing I did notice when I was fishing it is that I would cast it out there, and as I was waiting, I am not a line watcher. I don't get different colored lines to watch my line, but I noticed that I had to watch my line.
Oh.
So throw it out there and watching, and my line would lay flat on top of the water, and then you see a little twitch in the line.
Ooh,
and you're like,
we
oh.
know what that means.
Yeah, reel it up because it's all slack.
Yeah.
Everything's on slack line.
Yep.
So you cast it out there, you kind of pull up so you get a lot of slack, and your line droops on the water. And I was literally watching my line on the water, those little coils, and you'd see it go, doink. You're like, oh,
that's a fish.
and you just catch the
Yep.
fish. So that was something that I noticed that I was doing out there. A good 30 seconds before I even started doing anything. So a lot of that time, if it was mid-column and they bit it, I knew that I had to watch that line.
I feel like that's important because, like you said, you want this bait to fall and be very free.
Yeah.
You don't want to have tension, like keeping tension on it and letting it
yeah.
go. You want it to be flowing through super nice and easy, and that's how you get that long glide.
Yeah.
And like you said, a lot of those bites are just going to come on this incredible slack line.
Yep.
And so if you're not paying attention, the fish could have it forever and ever and ever, and you can gut hook basically every single fish. But if you're paying attention and watching like that little tick you're saying, or I think sometimes you're like, yeah, dude, I'd watch it and it'd be going, and then it would go much faster than what it did before, and I knew that was something wrong.
Yeah, you're watching the pace of the fall, and you're like, da-da-da, and then all of a sudden,
Yeah, and you're like, oh, got him.
something's different here. Boom, and then you hook it, and then boom, the fish is right there. It's the simplest setup ever.
Very simple.
Right? You get your bait. I like to use a 3/0 Bellows hook because if you're using a backglide, you're fishing around cover. Right? You're not just going to throw it in open water. There's no reason to throw it in open water. So overhangs, and most times when there's an overhang, there's more tree underneath. So I like the 3/0. And then you can definitely tell bottom and top of this bait. This bait has a little like bulb on the top right here, so that's for your hook point to go into. So I'll just hook it in there. It's also a lot thicker right here, so that's for your hook point to go in on this side. They made it dummy proof, Jeff.
Something I need.
Right? So you go there, get it in there, and that hook point is inside the bait there, but it's not inside the meat of the bait. The bait's very thick and hard, so it's not super squishy bait, but now you're weedless. Boom, boom, super simple. And then you let it do its own thing. It's probably one of the few techniques where you're not trying to control the bait. You're letting the bait just do whatever it wants to do. All right, it's going to come in and out of things. It's not super fat. It's not going to get stuck on stuff. It's going to come in and out of brush, like you're going through these trees. You're going to be able to pull it out. You might get stuck for a second, give it a little slack, and just pop it right out, and it comes out. I don't lose them often. It happens because there's a hook there, but I don't lose them often. Yeah, so that's how I set it up. I just cast it out
easy,
there.
Easy, man. It literally sounds easy. You cast it out, and then, oh, I'm bit, and then you're...
Yeah, luckily for us right now, the water's cooling, so these fish are moving into cover. I don't know the facts of this, but this is how I feel. The cover is warm from outside the water, and that warmth is coming down. So the warmest parts of the water are going to be where the cover is. Right? They're not in open water chasing bait, especially in the places that have the trees. Like some places we fish, there's no cover. It's just rock. So they go and they push up against the rocks and stuff. So these trees, that bait's just going through, and the fish are in there. So you're not going to be catching a ton of fish outside the trees. You got to go in the trees. If you want to catch them, you got to go in there, right? So I'm.
Who doesn't want to do that?
Right.
It's the most fun fishing.
Yeah, when you can pull fish out of heavy cover, you're having a
You're
fun
having
day.
a good time.
Yeah. So what I'll do is I'll cast and I'll try to land it right at the base of where the brush is sticking out of the water. I don't know what's going on underneath. But trust me when I tell you, I'm fishing on top of a forest. I'll cast it, and then it'll just make its way. I'll give it a ton of time. I'll just sit there, let it do its thing, give it a lot of slack. I have this habit when I cast and my bait lands, you always see me like pull my rod tip up, and that's where I'm getting my slack from. Watch my line. If I don't get bit, I'll just wait for it to hit bottom, give it a couple twitches. If it doesn't get bit, give it a couple more twitches, and I'll just give it small twitches on its way back until I get close enough to where I don't feel like it needs to be out there anymore. And then I'll reel it in.
Repeat the process.
Repeat. But luckily for me, I think I caught a fish on like 90% of casts.
That's ridiculous.
Jeff, you were out there. You left me.
I left you for an hour, and I
Yeah.
came back, and you're like, I caught like 12.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. And then I turned around to try and rig up a rod. You're like, hey, I need some pliers.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah.
I was about to take a te-hog from my dude.
Yeah, it was a good time. The combo, super simple, right? So for me, I'm using the P5 Dark Sleeper. Surprise, surprise.
Dude, it's such a good all-around rod, man.
Bro, Jeff, in my opinion,
Yes.
I think this is the greatest fishing rod ever made.
Wow. That's a heck of a statement, brother.
To me,
Yeah.
this has to be in my arsenal.
I mean, dude, you can do so much with that rod.
Yeah. I feel like this is the greatest fishing rod ever made.
I mean, I love that rod.
I can do everything on it.
Everything, dude.
Everything.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah. And it's strong.
Yeah.
It's super light.
Super light. Comfortable.
Sensitive.
Oh, dude, it's a great rod.
Yeah. A rod that bends like this is not supposed to be sensitive.
No.
You're supposed to feel stuff. But when I'm feeling those bites on slackline, that's not supposed to
That's
happen.
not supposed to happen, brother.
Yeah. But it does. I honestly think this is the greatest fishing rod ever made.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't think there's one that can beat
it's
it.
hard to beat, brother.
Yeah.
It's hard to beat.
Yeah. So
We were just talking about that rod earlier. And I was like, oh, you could throw this on there. You could also throw this on there. I've thrown this on there. Like, dude, it's unbelievable.
yeah,
Perfect length, strength, castability. Like,
yeah.
dude,
You can pull them out of cover.
Yeah.
You can jack big hook sets on it.
I've seen it.
You can run a crankbait on it.
Yep.
Right? Like, if there was one rod that you could have, this would be my choice.
That's it.
Right? Reel I'm using Metanium
You've
70
been
DC.
really liking that reel ever
So
since
this
we got
combo
it.
right here is like a great combo.
Dude, you
for
love
me.
that reel.
Yeah, this has been a great go-to combo for me. I was running a Zillion on. A Zillion works amazing with this with this rod. But I moved my Zillions to other things, so I ran out of Zillions. I had a Metanium 70 sitting around.
That's a problem to have.
Yeah, I had one sitting around, and I was like, let me try it on here,
Yeah.
and then I haven't gone back
It's
since.
such a light combo.
Yeah,
That combo's so light, dude.
it's so sick. And it casts well.
Really
It
well.
handles well. 18-pound
18.
Sniper
Yep.
fluoro
Mm-hmm.
because of the
You got to jack them out of the trees,
because
bro.
of the trees. Yeah, and that's it right there. That's the combo I'm using. Super sick combo right there. 3-aught Bellows hook.
And the te-hog.
And the te-hog. That's all you need.
That's all you need.
Right? There's no fancy setup to it.
Nope.
It's
no,
a hook.
No complicated rigging.
Yeah. You just got to know how to tie a knot.
Boom.
Yeah. And there you go. So one thing about this bait, it's very, very hard.
Yes.
So it's almost a one fish, it's done.
Oh, okay.
Right?
A lot of salt.
Yeah, there's a ton of salt in there to get it to sink so fast. But the coolest thing about it is, so I save every single one of mine that doesn't get tossed off by a fish. It has this little area right here on the bottom. So you see a little cut right there?
Yeah.
For a hook.
No.
Yeah, so
No way.
I have a bag full of these that I've used and caught fish with that I can't bag glide anymore. And then I just rig it up
Wow.
so I can go flip with it.
Dude, perfect.
Yeah. And it's pretty common to do that with bag glide baits, but I think this one does it really well because it does have the flappers on it. And then that little bulb thing also holds the hook on this way too.
Wow. Oh yeah, that's pretty legit.
Yeah. So you can flip with it, take it out there, bag glide it. It does really well, and the price is right on these. Right. So it's a Duo Realis bait. Their pricing is going to be a little bit lower than what we're used to. So there it is. It has 7 different colors. You can get pretty creative with your colors on it. I'm not going to. I'm going to throw a green pumpkin. But there's other things. There's Scuppernogs, and I mean, they got Fred, green pumpkin, purple copper. Yeah, but the colors are there. There's chartreuses. Whatever water situation you're fishing in, definitely pick your color based on your fishing areas. A lot of people love to ask us what color we use, and we tell them, but we don't know what you're fishing and what those fish are eating. So you're eating bluegill colors, green pumpkins, or they're eating bright chartreuses.
We got you.
Yeah, it's all there. So there it is, Jeff. The te-hog, the bag gliding te-hog.
Unbelievable.
The turtle bite.
What a fun bite.
Yeah. Who doesn't want to catch a fish on a turtle, bro?
Right. I'm on a turtle bite.
Yeah, the
You're
turtle
on
bug.
You're on a what bite?
Yeah.
They're eating turtles.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know, but I'm not going to complain.
Because they're eating it.
Yeah. So there's that. Hey, enjoy these guys. Have fun with it. Even in the cold water, don't hesitate to throw something like that at a fish. If you're not frozen over, you got brush or some overhangs, cast it in there. Those fish are going to be there.
Yeah.
Just depends on if they want to put something in their mouth or not. Right? So, and it's an all-season bait, which is pretty cool. All right? So, yeah. That is it, Jeff.
That's it.
All right. So on behalf of everybody here at the Hookup, Ben, Jeff, myself, thank you for the business. Thank you for watching, and I hope you guys are having a lot of fun out there.